Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Dan and Kev's Wrestling Talk Show, where we've purposely waited to get the craziness of WrestleMania, Raw after Mania and SmackDown out of Mania done, so that we can talk about the whole thing rather than just, there's been a lot of people that are just focusing on Mania. We wanted to kind of get it all out of the way so we can, bring it all together and speak about the whole week because it was a crazy week. I think we usually like to start in chronological order and take it through almost like it's a story of our own. But I think there is only one place to start, and it's the biggest news. Many people are calling it the biggest news ever in wrestling, and to be honest, there's a lot of people that are disagreeing with it. I would agree with that. I can't think of anything that's happened in wrestling that's as big as what obviously happened on Saturday night, which was
Cody Rhodes,
the return of Cody Rhodes, obviously. And it's funny, isn't it, that me and you were saying, we said it many times, but I remember 12 months ago we had quite a long conversation live on air about Cody Rhodes, and also at the Royal Rumble just gone, we both said you asked me who my dream and who did I say my dream entrant for the Rumble was going to be?
It's Cody.
And I said Cody, and what happened, Kev?
Yeah, he came. He went.
Well, no.
2 months later,
laughed.
2 months later, he came.
I said my dream would be Cody, and you laughed because it was laughable.
It was.
And this is only a few months ago. In January, it's 4 months ago. 4 months ago, I said my all-time dream entrant would be Cody Rhodes as the American Nightmare persona.
Yeah,
and we both laughed because it was impossible.
Yeah,
if someone would have handed you a list of 1 million names of people who would sign with WWE, he wouldn't have even been on it. He wouldn't have even made that list.
No,
it was impossible that he would come back. But here we go, and I do need to say this as well before I let you have your input on it, because I know you're as passionate about Cody being back as I am. But I do need to mention this. On the very first podcast me and you did, which was 2 years ago, very first one we did, you said something that I kind of nodded along with, but didn't quite agree with. And you said, rumors mean nothing. And that until it actually happens, it doesn't matter. And I kind of felt like rumors do matter because they ruin it. Right? But when Cody Rhodes' music hit, I was jumping up and down in my living room, screaming like a raving banshee. And I'm sat here as a nearly 30-year-old man. I cried. I genuinely, it really, really touched me. It was, and his promo on Raw, I think, touched and made everyone a little bit teary-eyed. It was an amazing. All the best promos are the ones that are true, and that for me on Monday night wasn't Cody Rhodes. That was Cody Runnels. That was the man just telling a life story, and it was beautiful. But you said our very, very first podcast that rumors mean nothing. Then I kind of went, yeah, but they do because they ruin it. Well, if anything proves that you were right, it was that, because those rumors that he'd signed with WWE and that he was going to come out of Maine, they've been there for months.
Yeah, since Royal Rumble.
But it didn't mean anything.
No.
Those rumors meant nothing. And you know what? I'm actually really glad that we kind of knew or hoped that it was a possibility. I mean, I was sat there, and when the lights went out, I thought it's going to be fucking Elias or Veer Mahan. Like, WWE are going to absolutely destroy it. And we did, the amount of people. You put the WrestleMania post in our group. Check us out on Facebook. It's called All Wrestling Community. So check us out on Facebook. You put a post and saying, what are we expecting from tonight's Mania?
Yeah.
And everyone was like, who's Rollins' opponent? And it was Veer Mahan and Elias and Shane McMahon. And because everyone thought WWE were going to shit the bed with this.
Yeah.
They didn't. So how do you feel about the American Nightmare being back?
Yeah, good. I'm glad that they've taken what they had in AEW and they've just moved him. They haven't changed his name, his music, his look. It's
perfect.
Yeah, it's all they've just moved it over, and it's kind of ironic, isn't it? Really, because he left WWE as, let's face it, he left WWE as a nobody.
Yeah.
he made a star for himself.
Yeah.
And WWE have gone, shit, okay.
We were wrong.
We were wrong. We'll take you.
But Cody's even said, Cody was interviewed by Ariel Helwani for BT Sport, and he said to Ariel that he knew that he was a mid-carder back then.
Yeah.
He knew that he wasn't a star.
Just like his brother, he was stuck in that rut, really, wasn't he? Stuck in the middle there.
Goldust had a lot of fan following, but he was never going to be WWE champion. He wasn't good enough, you know. And
that's coming on to another podcast, I think. But there's a lot of people like that. That as fans, obviously, people see the talent that they've got. You know, there's two I can think of straight away, and one of them is Ricochet.
Yeah.
You know, he's got all the talent in the world, but he's not a top fighter.
No,
not in WWE. You know, maybe AEW, maybe Impact.
No, not anywhere. Not anywhere. And the reason is because Cody said that he liked at first to hide behind Stardust in the face paint because he had, you know, he had a really bad lisp. I had a horrendous lisp and a stutter as a child.
Yeah.
I understand what a speech impediment can make you feel like, and he was embarrassed by his lisp, and it is, you know, he knows that it's very, very obvious.
Just like his dad.
Yeah, and his dad couldn't help it, and he can't help it, but it made him, you know, self-conscious.
Yeah.
And so he did, but he's turned himself into the best talker in the industry with that lisp. And it doesn't matter. You don't even hear it because you're listening to someone cutting a promo and you instantly feel, fuck, this guy's good. Like, you know, and like you've just said, and you worded it beautifully, he made himself a star.
Yeah.
No one made the American Nightmare a star. Cody Rhodes made himself a star. No company did it.
A lot of people are now saying, actually, that WWE sort of gets them, right, builds them up a little bit. And now what they're doing is they're sending them off to AEW where they become big stars, and then WWE just takes them back when they're big enough.
Well, look, I am 100% sure that MJF, when his contract runs out on the 1st of January 2024.
Yeah, I think there was
18 months' time, MJF will be WWE.
Yeah, there was an article up actually saying that WWE was interested in quite a few of the AEW people. Lance Archer, Wardlow, MJF. But yeah, there's a few. I think Jericho will. I still think Jericho will come back.
Jericho will come back, and Mox will come back.
Yeah,
I genuinely wouldn't be surprised. Look, Daniel Bryan, Adam Cole,
come back.
I wouldn't be surprised, mate, if the only one that won't is CM Punk.
There's a few actually. I think the Hardys won't, and Punk.
Yeah.
I think what's happening now with the Hardys is their sort of goodbye thing. I mean, if anyone watched it, if anyone's watching this and watched Dynamite last week, where you had the Hardys versus Butcher and the Blade in a tables match.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Oh, it was awful. It was hard to watch. And the match they had previously was a Falls Count Anywhere match, and where they were with Darby. And they were I can't remember who they were taking on. But there was a point where Jeff was climbing the turnbuckle, and you could see he was closing his eyes like this, and he was climbing it slowly. And I was like, fuck, he's in pain. Like, as no one turned around and said, look, just give it a rest, mate. Take a year or two away, and then, you know.
Remind me about that point about what you've just said about, you know, people needing to retire, because I've got a good point about that. I just want to say, before we move on, this for me, and I don't know if you agree, you might not, this for me is Cody Rhodes being back is the biggest thing to ever happen in wrestling. I can't think of anything that is bigger and is like we've both already said, this was impossible. 6 months ago, any wrestling fan would have gone, this is impossible. Won't happen. Impossible. The one person for AEW that you think, no chance, is Cody Rhodes. And it's happened. And that opens the door. Like, now anything is possible. If Cody Rhodes, who nobody has left and been that public, nobody's left and has publicly gone, Vince, you're a prick. WWE, you're a pile of shit. You know, I'm going to write an entrance music where the lyrics are just calling you a piece of shit and are saying how bad you are. I'm going to create a character saying how bad you are. I'm gonna build my own wrestling company in spite of you because you're shit, and I'm gonna do it better than you can. And I'm gonna write like, and he did it all, and now he's gone back to WWE with everything that he created to say fuck you to them, and he's back with it. Like it's unbelievable. What has happened? If you're a wrestling fan, that this is the biggest thing. You know, his new shirt that is now on sale, which Nat's going to buy me because she's amazing. The one with his dog on it, Pharaoh. At the back, underneath his American Nightmare logo, it said I was there. And they only made like 20,000 of them. And that was Cody's idea. He wanted... The only people who could buy that was fans that was at the arena that was actually there. And Eric Bischoff has said, if you've got your hands on one of them, frame it. Don't sell it. Frame it. Put it on your wall because... You might be alive for another 100 years, and you will probably never be in an arena and be a part of a moment as big as that. And I agree with him.
And the thing what made it big was, and I guarantee there'll be a lot of people watching this going, "Oh, how can you say that?" And it's not the biggest thing. Well, you got to think, right? Has anyone come from a sort of a company, right, that helped make it? Basically, it was his and Tony Khan's idea to create AEW.
Yeah, it was them too who said, "Let's do this."
Yeah, the only other big big thing was when Eric Bischoff came to WWE. That was a massive big thing as well. But
it was.
But WCW wasn't around then. But if he had done that while still working for WCW and WCW was still there, it would have been even bigger.
Yeah, it would have been, but it still wouldn't have been as big as this because Cody was in WWE and left them because he hated them.
Yeah.
And look how the very first AEW show, the Double or Nothing or All Out, was it All Out? The very first one that they did? Was it All Out? I can't remember. The very first show that they did opened with Cody Rhodes taking a sledgehammer to a Triple H themed throne. Like, it couldn't have been any more slap in the face, fuck you, WWE. Everything that he did the 6 years that he was gone. For him, after everything that has happened to come back, nothing is as big as that. No, but, you know, it would have been the only thing that would have been bigger would have been Bret Hart. After the screw job, leaving, coming back. But when Bret Hart did come back, he'd already retired. He wasn't a Cody Rhodes has left, a mid-carder, done everything in his power to say WWE is shit, Vince McMahon's a piece of shit, all of it's, you know, terrible. Been so public about it for 6 years, built a company to rival them, turned himself into what many people would regard the biggest wrestler in the world, purely because... Like me and you have both said many times, you just mentioned Ricochet. Ricochet in ring is one of the best wrestlers in the world, but he can't talk on the mic, and he's got a good character, but he can't get that character over. He's not got the ability to get himself over. Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare character, is probably as over with the fans as what any character ever has been. On a global scale, you are talking Triple H, DX, Undertaker level over with the fans. That American Nightmare is. He's got one of the best entrance musics of all time, especially when you know the story behind it, and you know when you listen to it. You took my dreams, but not my name. I built my own kingdom. It's
and now he's switched.
Yeah,
and now it's business. And he said this before, you know.
Yeah.
No one, I don't think anyone is going to turn down that sort of money, that sort of possibility. It's sort of like someone. Going to football now, it's like someone from League One getting a job at a Premiership. Now he's not going to go, "No, I'm quite happy where I am."
No, exactly.
They're going to bite your fingers off for it.
Look,
and Cody said himself, he said, "I'll be stupid not to have turned it down."
There's been a few sources. You know? One of them might have been Dave Meltzer, but they've basically said it's the biggest contract ever handed out over a long-term basis. It's the biggest contract.
There's a lot of money there. I reckon, this on Brock Lesnar sort of level. Payment.
Yeah, but Brock Lesnar isn't going to be there every week for the next 5 years like Cody is. Like he's getting paid Brock Lesnar money every fucking week. You know, he's getting paid Lesnar, Rock, Cena, Austin
Well,
money.
well, not only that, WWE I think are going to make. I guarantee there'll be a Rhodes documentary.
Yeah,
about his dad.
No, they've already confirmed that. Apparently, that
Oh,
was
they?
a big thing. Apparently, so A&E was behind the dark side of the ring stuff.
Yeah.
It was already in the pipeline that they were making a story on the American Dream's life. And when Cody met with Vince, this is something that I'm really happy that Cody shared. Vince flew to Atlanta. Vince flew to him.
Yeah.
Like, if anything shows that this is the biggest thing to happen in wrestling, Vince McMahon at 78 years old got on a plane and flew to him because he was desperate to sign a guy who for the last 6 years has been calling him a cunt. Like,
yeah.
He went and flew to him because, and Vince will have said to him, Cody, what do you want? What can I give you that will get you to come and do what you're doing for me? And look, I actually believe him. The biggest thing for Cody said, I went into that coffee and that meeting with Vince thinking, I'm not going back. This ain't going to happen because it's going to come back as Stardust, or come back as Cody Rhodes, but not the American Nightmare. We're going to have to change your music, and that's not what happened. Vince said to him, "Oh, you're coming back as the American Nightmare, and your entrance music is Kingdom, and come back as you."
He's probably said, "Look, don't change a thing. We just want you back.
We just want you to do what you've been doing for AEW, but do it for us."
Yeah, because obviously that promo he did on Monday, that wasn't scripted.
No, that was.
So he's obviously been able. So they've obviously said, right, these are the guidelines, but you say what you want.
Yes.
You can't mention AEW. You can't swear, all that sort of stuff, but you can say what you want.
Yeah, he's in full creative control of his promos and his character and what he does in the ring, which is what he needs. But for me, so A&E, it was already in the pipeline, and Cody said to Vince, I want to be an executive producer on that documentary because I want to make sure that the story that is told is accurate.
Yeah.
And is an accurate portrayal of what my dad did and what he accomplished. That was a big thing. Apparently, that was a big thing. And Vince was like, I'd love you to be executive producer on it. It wasn't even a thing. The money obviously is a big thing, but for me, I actually think money wasn't the most important thing. I honestly believe that story. He made his dad, like, when he gets choked up, and I can't even hear it anymore. It gives me a lump in my throat when he says, it's too simple saying that the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes was my father. In reality, he was my hero. I think most young boys, their dad is their hero. I know your dad's your hero. I know my dad's mine. This is his dad who fucking died right in front of him.
It's not. Like he said, he did win that title, but it wasn't sort of televised or anything. So
he never won it because of the champion's advantage. He won the match, but because it was count out, he never won the belt. Goldust was in the WWE for 15 years. He won every belt there. Goldust never won the big one.
Right.
Cody Rhodes was there for 10 years, won every belt, never won the big one. Rhodes has never held the main title.
The problem is now
that's what he's back for.
Yeah, the problem with that though is it's really bad. But the only way is if Roman drops one of the belts or both of them to someone else.
No. I'm so happy. That I said to you on air, and I've said to you many times, but on air about 12 months ago, they need to fuck off this brand split now, unify it. And with Roman saying, go to Raw and unify the tag belts, Sean Ross Sapp has basically said nothing's set in concrete because nothing is with WWE.
No.
But right now, as it stands, Vince wants to unify it.
Yeah, he wants to unify all the titles.
Split. So apparently by SummerSlam, it's not going to be Raw and SmackDown. It's going to be, in my opinion, when it's at its best. Of course, you're going to, if Roman Reigns is the champion, is the unified champion, he's going to be on Raw and SmackDown probably, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of your big names, like it was back in the day, when Stone Cold Music had it on Monday Night Raw, you'd be off your seat excited because you didn't know that it was going to be there because no one's right now for the last 6-7 years, who's on Raw and who's on SmackDown. Whereas if no one's assigned to any brand, well, you've now got a whole roster, and there's only a certain spots on Raw and SmackDown. So not everyone's going to be on TV every week.
Well, one of the reasons they done the brand split in the first place was because they had a massive roster.
Yeah,
and it meant so because you got to think now when they didn't have it originally, you're going back to 2000, 2001, all that sort of stuff. You would have Stone Cold on Monday and Friday.
Yeah.
And obviously, when you're having that sort of people, and you have Triple H and The Rock and all that on both Monday and Thursday when SmackDown was on, it meant there wasn't enough to showcase everyone.
No,
and that was their problem. They had it too big, so they thought we'll split it, so then we'll give other guys more of a chance of getting screen time.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like your main champion's going to be on every Raw and most SmackDowns, right? And whoever they're in a rivalry with. This is what I'm saying. Storytelling was at its best back then because Raw would go off air by say Stone Cold was champion and he's in a rivalry with The Rock. The Rock could attack Stone Cold from behind, and that's how Raw would go off air. And then on SmackDown, at some point, Rock's having a match, and Stone Cold would come out and start beating him. That story would continue, and it would flow, and you'd watch a tuning going, "Oh my God, what's going to happen on Raw?" You'd not just what's going to happen next week. Like SmackDown's on Friday, what's going to happen on Monday on Raw? Yeah. This is going to continue again. Yes, you're going to have that, but you could have. Not every week, but say if you have the Intercontinental Champion defend the title on Raw, you have the United States Champion on SmackDown. Yeah. You don't have the Intercontinental title there. Yeah. Not every week, you swap it up. But what I'm saying is, your big names. There's going to be 5 names that you know is going to be on every Raw and pretty much every SmackDown. But everyone else, you don't know who's going to be on that show. Yeah. So someone's music hits, and you're going to go, "Oh shit, Randy Orton's here."
I'm wondering whether they're doing it as well, because I remember they when they done it originally, Fox wanted Brock Lesnar and Ronda Rousey on SmackDown, and I'm wondering whether USA have gone, well, we want some big names too. Well, if we do away with the brand split, it means you can both have them. We both keep you happy.
Yeah, look, for us as a wrestling fan, would you not rather be watching Raw and have no idea who's going to be on it? Not got a clue. You're watching it and someone's going to go, shit, they're on it.
Yeah, I get that. But like they have with, obviously this is Monday, so they've got advertised this week is Cody versus The Miz.
Yeah.
And you've got, I think it's Rey Mysterio and the Heel, isn't it?
It's Rey Mysterio versus Veer, yeah.
Veer, yeah. Versus Veer. I mean, they've announced them already. I mean, imagine though, if The Miz was out talking and Cody's music hit, it would have been better. But because they've announced it already.
Exactly. That's what they need to stop doing. But I do think that they will. I think WWE is getting better. It's been bad for a few years. The last 2 months, it has been getting better. And I honestly think, especially with Cody back and them unifying it and, everything just being, all one big brand again. I did
find that this week's Raw after WrestleMania was not very good.
No, it wasn't. Look, people have kind of been lost in this, and obviously, you're aware that I got into a bit of a debate with a guy that's in our group.
Yeah,
and look, if that's just you, if that's any other Monday, that's a good Raw. I don't give a shit what anybody says. If that is any other Monday, it's not great, but you would watch it and think that was all right. That.
Yeah,
but because it was Raw after Mania, that's what made it a bit shit. But SmackDown was good. You had Raquel Rodriguez.
Yeah,
come up.
Yeah. You had Lacey Evans do a promo as well. She's returning.
Lacey Evans is back. You had Butch have his first match.
Yeah.
And what else?
Gunter.
Yeah.
Gunter debut or Imperium, but they never actually said Imperium.
Well, I think they scrapping it. I think Marcel Bartel or Kaiser, Fabian Kaiser is his new name.
No, it's Ludwig Kaiser.
Ludwig Kaiser, that's it.
Yeah,
Ludwig Kaiser. So he's going to be, he's basically going to be.
I want to make a point on that as well, because Gunter, Water, whatever you want to call him, he done an interview, didn't he?
Yeah.
And he said,
Yeah.
if I'd started out as Gunter and they changed my name to Walter, people would hate it. And I absolutely have to agree with that. Yeah.
Look,
hands down.
Do you think Pete Dunne cares that they've changed his name to Butch? Do you think Raquel Gonzalez care that they've changed his surname to Rodriguez? They don't care.
No.
So it's a name, and if
you've also got to realise,
look at what they're doing with Pete Dunne on SmackDown.
Yeah, they've always changed their names. Always.
He's the
John
crazy...
Cena. Before he was John Cena, was called the Prototype.
Yeah.
In OVW, he was called the Prototype. Batista was called Animal.
Yeah.
And though he became later on the Animal Batista, that the Animal part was dropped. It was just David. Yeah. Well, it wasn't really. It was called Deacon Batista originally.
Yeah.
Then they changed it to Dave Batista, and then just Batista.
Yeah.
So they always change names.
I just want to touch on this. I just want to touch on this. You mentioned before about the Hardy Boys needing to retire.
Yeah.
Look, this for me is a huge criticism that I have with AEW. Huge criticism. You are going to seriously hurt, and if not, eventually kill people. And I can't understate that enough, because they are. It's Tony Khan is like, his whole objective is, how can I make our diehard fans laugh at WWE? Yeah. How can it's in the back of his head? It's always, how can I? And the reason why he's signing all of these guys that WWE are letting go is it's so Tony Khan can get the fans, the AEW fans, going, they weren't good enough for WWE, but we're going to make them a star. They're going to be great here, blah blah blah. Well, are they? What's happened to Miro? What's happened to Andrade? What's happened? You know, are they really using Aleister Black to his full potential? No.
I mean, if you've watched Keith Lee as well, I believe there's a few things that happen with Keith Lee. Firstly, they've put him on Rampage. He's always on Rampage now. And secondly, it ain't the Keith Lee from NXT.
No,
he is slower, bigger. I don't know what's the matter with him.
But this is what I'm saying. That Paige hasn't been medically cleared because they've said one bad bump and you're paralysed. AEW will clear your Paige. Sting wasn't medically cleared.
No.
Oh, he can wrestle. You're going to fucking kill him. And the biggest one for me, Samoa Joe. I love Samoa Joe. You've made the wrong decision. May well be for the right reasons in your head. WWE, and this is what I'm saying, Tony Khan wants AEW fans to go, look, WWE have let Samoa Joe go. How stupid are they? We've got Samoa Joe, the great Samoa Joe. Yeah, he is the great Samoa Joe. Not in the ring anymore. He has that many injuries. WWE did everything that they could to keep him. He kicked off because he wanted to wrestle, so they released him. Triple H pulled every card he could to get him signed back. And it's because Triple H said, we will let you have one last big match. He was killing it as a commentator. WWE said, you're great, Joe. We want you on TV. We want you as a commentator. He didn't want to commentate, which is fine. It's a shame because he was good at it, but he didn't want to do it. He wanted to wrestle. Triple H said, you can come back. You can have one more match, but you're going to be our head of scouting and
a trainer,
and bringing in new talent and training, right? He weren't happy with that. He had that match against Karrion Kross, won the NXT title, and Joe was like, right, what next? And they were like, well, you're injured again.
Yeah.
You're injured again, like we said that you would. You need to retire. Your body's taken that much punishment over the last 25 years.
Yeah.
You're going to kill yourself or seriously hurt yourself to the point where you're going to paralyze yourself or something really severe. You need to stop. No, I'm not stopping. Right, well, fuck off then. Go then. I love Joe, but if I was Vince, I'd go, right, Joe, fuck off then. I couldn't have done any more. I've given you a commentating job. I've allowed you to come back. I've made you head of recruitment. I've made you a coach. And I've allowed you to have one last match. Even though I didn't think it was a good idea, I've allowed you to have one last match as a goodbye. And you're not happy with it. So go to AEW and fucking kill yourself then. If that's what you want to do. Like, it winds me up because all I'm seeing is AEW fanboys spouting their bullshit going, Joe's in AEW, is this, is that, and the other. if you love Joe so much, like I do, like I followed his entire career, I don't want him wrestling anymore because he's going to seriously hurt himself. Because he's fucked. He's absolutely done. Physically, he's done. His body can't take anymore. And the thing about Joe is that worries me is up here, he still thinks he's 30.
Yeah.
He doesn't think that he's 46 or whatever he is. Up here, he's still 30 and he's not got any injuries. So he's going to do in the ring things that he shouldn't be doing. And do you know what, Kev? Do you know what annoys me about that? That's not just dangerous for him. It's dangerous to whoever is in the ring with. Whoever is working, he could hurt them.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, a lot of people they were quite happy to say that someone injured someone, but Keith Lee injured Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
When he threw him out, he threw him out the ring, but threw him too hard, if you know what I mean. Yeah. And he missed the landing and hit his shoulder on the ramp, and he's injured. He's out now. Accidents happen. I get all that, but I was thinking, man, if that had happened in WWE,
it'd have been slated. It'd have been slated.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. It's like, AEW. I've got a few friends that actually aren't dickheads, which I know seems rare at the minute, but they are proper AEW diehard, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
they will openly admit since Cody's left, AEW has gone to shit a bit. Because you've got.
Do you know what it's like? It's really funny because obviously they were booing Cody.
Yeah.
Last couple of months, they were booing the shit out of him. Turns up in WWE and they're cheering, loving him.
Yeah.
Fickle. We're all fickle.
He's received death threats and all sorts of shit because he left AEW.
It's crazy, isn't it?
But
it's crazy.
You've got, do you know what? You need anyone who's a Cody fan or been a Cody fan, but is an AEW fan and hates him because they feel like, look, Cody's even said. He understands it. He's happy that he's making people feel something. He's making AEW fans hate him now because he's left them. They're upset because their favorite has left them. That's great for wrestling, but fucking hell, people are sending him death threats and all sorts of crazy shit because he's left. And do you know what? People need to respect him a bit more because he's actually said, what happened between me and Tony is personal. I have nothing but respect for Tony, but it's personal, and I will never share what happened.
It's the same thing with obviously the Big Show and Mark Henry when they've said there's no hard feelings with WWE. Me and Vince, we talk. Yeah,
I mean, look,
just he couldn't offer me the thing that Big Show said was he was offered a better deal from Tony, and Vince went, take it.
Take the money. But look,
I can't offer you that.
Cody has said that he won't share it, but he has said a lot of the rumors was bullshit, but a lot of the rumors were true. And there's a few big wrestling journalists that usually don't really talk unless they know, and they've basically said, the biggest thing was it was money and it was creative drive. So I've seen AEW fans going, yeah, but it's Ricky Starks who said it. Who's like pretty much like one of Cody Rhodes' best mates. So, well, it's Ricky Starks. He is going to say that. Yeah, but he's employed by AEW. He's not a moron. He's not going to say something, but he said it because it's true. A lot of people have said the second Cody Rhodes walked out that door, our mentor walked out the door. The one guy and this doesn't shine a very good light on Mox and Jericho and Punk and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah,
it doesn't shine a very good light on those guys when you've got people saying, when Cody Rhodes left, the only guy that we could go to say, can you help me with this promo? I'm struggling to come up with a move in this spot. I don't know exactly how to finish this. Their whole creative, their guy that they could go to creatively for help left with him.
Yeah.
So, and Tony Khan let that go because he couldn't afford to. Look, Cody Rhodes said, do you know what? I'd be happy without the stress. I've got guys coming to me saying, Cody, why have you wrote this? Why have you wrote me taking a loss to this clown? Why? He was constantly getting people coming moaning at him because they weren't happy with what he'd done. Because Cody, for the first 12 months, wrote virtually everything. Yes, he had help.
Yeah.
Of course he did. But he wrote the high majority of everything that went down in AEW the first 12 months. So we had people that weren't happy with the spot that he was giving them and stuff. So he said to Tony, hey, I'm happy to go and wrestle. That's my passion. I'm happy to leave all that stress and bollocks to you.
Yeah.
That's your headache. I'll just wrestle. But I won't pay him the same as Punk and Daniel Bryan and Adam Cole.
Yeah.
And Tony Khan said no.
No.
Sorry, but no, I can't afford that because I've just brought in, all
Everybody.
these guys.
Everybody.
Yeah. Brought in everybody to the point where I now can't afford to pay you a better wage. And Cody Rhodes is like, I'm one of the best wrestlers that you've got. And not only that, I've been writing the show for you. I basically did it, most of it on my own for 12 months. And for the last 18 months, I've still been helping. I've still been writing stuff. And it was the fucking vice president of the company.
Yeah.
Everything he's done for him. And Tony's going, just focus on your wrestling. You're just going to be a wrestler now. And do you know what? Cody did actually say in that Ariel interview, and he the only bit of insight he's given is he said, Tony viewed me as the guy to get the new guy over. So when they signed a new talent, it's right, you're wrestling Cody, and Cody's going to put you over.
Yeah.
And Vince has gone, I view you as the American Nightmare, the fucking guy that's going to come, instantly become the face of the company, and within 12 months be our champion, which is something your family has never had. A Rhodes has never held the belt. You are. You're going to hold it. And what I would do is don't give it him soon. Unify the division. Let Roman have the belt for another 12 months. And a lot of people are saying have Cody win Money in the Bank and have him cash in at SummerSlam. SummerSlam's too soon. I don't hate the idea of him winning Money in the Bank and him doing what Rollins did and cashing in at Mania. I don't hate that. But what I would do, I want to see Cody have those big one-on-one matches that we never thought we'd see. Cody Kevin Owens, Cody Randy Orton again would be fucking quality. Cody AJ Styles. Yeah? Cody Edge. Give us the big matches that we never thought that we would have. Then you have Cody win the Rumble, and you have Cody. Then you've got 3 months then to build a really bad, nasty rivalry. Roman is already a heel. I know he gets a lot of cheers, but he's a heel. The American Nightmare's a babyface. It's already there. You don't need to change anything. You then have Roman and Cody for the next 3 months between Rumble and Mania. You have them beating the shit out of each other and attacking each other backstage, and have it really like it was back in the day. Where Triple H and Shawn Michaels when they was in a rivalry. Fuck me, mate. That was 6 months. Every Raw, something would happen where they would hit each other. They couldn't see each other. They couldn't walk past each other backstage without cracking each other. That's what you do. You have a 3 month build where Cody and Roman can't set eyes on each other. They want to beat the piss out of each other, and you do it for 3 months, leading to the biggest match in Mania history. And you have Cody finally become the first Rhodes to win the belt and fulfill that promise that he made his dad when he was 8 years old. And it's the story's already there. All WWE have to do is do it. And
just do it.
Now we're in a position where I've been made to eat humble pie. You've been made to eat humble pie. Pretty much every WWE fan's been made to eat humble pie, because when me and you said, look, it's probably is going to be Cody, I did shit myself. I'm not going to lie. When the lights went out, I'm like, it's going to be there. It's going to be there. It's going to be fucking there. Like, yes, I did shit myself, but we said, look, we were both 99% sure that it was going to be Cody, but we both said it won't be the American Nightmare. They won't let him. They won't let him come out with the music that he had to spit in the face of WWE. They won't let him have that music. They won't let him have that persona.
That was also, I think, a two fingers up to Tony as well. Because it's like, you gave him that music, you gave him that look, we've taken it. There you go.
Well, Cody created it himself. Tony just allowed him to do it on TV for him. But have you heard what Stone Cold Steve Austin said?
No.
I sent you the picture of them hugging backstage.
Yeah.
Great picture. And Cody said, I will never share what he said. I'll never share what Triple H said to me, because they had a lot of beef. Like Cody chat a lot of shit about Triple H.
He did say that. I think he said that as well in an interview.
He never share what he said.
I know what he said in an interview, didn't he? He said that
Triple H is
after breaking all that stuff, and he goes, the first person I had to walk past at the gorilla position was Triple H.
He said,
I love that guy.
Mate, WWE, like Vince have given him a bus, which is what Randy Orton has, and what Brock Lesnar has, and what Roman Reigns has. Like, They're not giving out to everybody. They've given
No.
a boss that his agent, his wife, his daughter. It can sleep like 8 people on this monstrous. It's like a multi-million-dollar bus. They've just given it him.
Yeah.
And Cody said, "Look, as soon as I seen this bus, and I went, holy shit, they've actually have given me this incredible bus." And he went, "Now I know it's time to go to work. I need to earn this. They've given me everything. They've given me the biggest contract, biggest long-term contract I've ever offered out in wrestling.
Yeah.
This bus. They've given him a 2-year plan. So they've said, this is what we can promise you, and we will put it in writing in your contract. This is the opportunities you're going to get over the next 2 years. This is the spot. This is the push you're going to get." But he said that he'll never share what Triple H said to him when he went into his bus. He was the last guy before he got on the little golf cart and went to get in position to come up for his entrance. The last guy that he spoke to was Triple H.
Yeah.
And the first person he spoke to when he got backstage was Stone Cold. And Stone Cold said, that was the match you needed. You just put on a 5-star classic, and that was what you needed to come back. But all he shared is that Stone Cold has said, the biggest compliment I can pay you is I've not only done this at the highest level for a long time. I have been I've been retired for 19 years, but I've been at pretty much every Mania backstage. I'm always there. He's always there.
Triple H,
he's not on TV.
Undertaker is as well.
Yeah,
Taker is as well.
Hey, Vic Joseph said on the latest podcast that Undertaker is actually like once a month at NXT. He's backstage at NXT going, and he says, if anyone wants any advice, come and speak to me. It's amazing. But Stone Cold said to him, this for me is the biggest compliment he could pay him. And anyone that's saying, nah, it's not the biggest thing in wrestling history. It's not. Second guess yourself, because Stone Cold has said that's the loudest pop he's ever heard.
Yeah.
He said, I've never heard a pop that loud. And what annoys me, what really winds me up, is guys like me and you are priced out of the camera shot seats.
Yeah.
So when Cody's coming up and the camera pans to the fans, no one's jumping up and down because the camera goes to the guys in the seats that cost fucking $2,500 per seat. Real die-hard wrestling fans can't afford that. Like, you can see Cody Rhodes walking down that WrestleMania ramp, and there's a guy there scrolling through Facebook on his phone. He's not asked.
Yeah.
Because that for him is he's paid $2,500 for that ticket. It's a day out. Probably doesn't even know who Cody Rhodes is. He's probably going, fucking hell, these are all really shouting for this guy. Who the fuck is he? Like, but all you're seeing is people ramp side and ring side, the ones that you're seeing on camera, they're not asked. All the noise is coming from the stands that you can't see. Because they're the cheap seats. But that's where all your die-hard wrestling fans are. They should be at the fucking front.
Yeah. Totally agree with that.
Unfortunately, we're in a world now where that's never going to happen because WWE, look, if they're in the business of making money, and if they can sell those tickets for $2,500 a pop, they're going to sell them for $2,500 a pop.
Of course, yeah.
So, and do you know what, mate? It's getting bigger and bigger. That money will go up. Pretty soon, it'll be within the next 5 years. You want a ringside seat, $10,000.
It's the same at football. It's the same at football and other venues.
Same at boxing. If you look at boxing, you look at the first 3 or 4 rows, it's all select. Basketball in America.
Yeah.
You've got Jay-Z sat there, courtside. How much has he paid for that ticket?
Yeah. Yeah.
Thousands for that ticket. You can't knock it. I do understand that side of it with AEW.
Yeah.
I understand AEW fans go, this is why I prefer this product. Because Tony Khan has gone, I want the people that are making the noise at the front.
Yeah.
Because aesthetically, that's what looks the best on camera. If you're watching that at home and everyone ringside's jumping up and down and hugging each other and high-fiving, oh my God, holy shit, it gets you pumped and excited. Whereas when you're watching WWE TV and everyone ringside is just stood there like that with their arms folded going, some guy called Cody Summit or others has just come out and whatever it is. Like, doesn't get you excited. It doesn't. It's like I feel excited, but then I'm looking at these going, it doesn't add up. It doesn't.
It's like, come on. There was a few people that I saw though that were really like excited, but there wasn't many. Like you're saying, there were a lot of. Oh, I think we said this before in the podcast before. We've said that a lot of people are there because it's their kids that are interested in it.
Yeah,
their dads, and they don't watch they don't watch wrestling. They're only there because of their kids.
One of my best mates, I've spoke to you about him on here before. A guy called Colin. He's been to loads of WWE events. He's going off WWE. To be fair, he's gone off wrestling. He doesn't really watch AEW much.
Yeah.
But he prefers that product because of the die-hard feeling and aspect of it. But he hates WWE events now because he said you go there and it is all PG. It's all geared up for the kids. And I've always said to him, right, as a wrestling fan, that pisses me off. But as someone who's also realistic and goes, if I was in Vince McMahon's position, would I be doing anything any different? No. He made John Cena the face of the company because he was the biggest merch seller, but he was also the biggest attraction when it came to kids. And Vince knew, okay, if I have my target audience, because in the Attitude Era, the target audience was undoubtedly me and you.
Yeah.
If me and you were in our 30s back then in 1992, we would have been his target audience. It was, men, adult men. That was the target audience. Now, and for the last 10 to 15 years, it very much has been the target audience have been children. But why? Because you, Kev, you own a lot of wrestling memorabilia.
Yeah.
But if you've got limited amount of money, which we all have, are you going to buy your kids something special or yourself something special?
Well, you would do your kids. It's kids first. It always is. Of course it is.
I don't own many big wrestling memorabilia simply because I have a life. I have other things.
Yeah.
I have a daughter. I have other things that. But I want a wrestling belt. I've never been in a position where. Well, I have, but over the last 3 years, I've wanted one of the belts that you've got. But I look at it and I go, I've not got 350 quid for an authentic belt. I've not got it. And even when I have got it, I go, yeah, but that can go towards a holiday. That can go to like I can't afford to just spend that money on a belt. I can't afford it.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you now, if Emily's 10 years old and she says, Daddy, I really want that belt, and I've got the money, I'm going to buy the belt.
Yeah.
And that's why he's done what he's done, because he's aware. Yes, it's, people will call him a prick for it, but he's a businessman. He's in the business of making money. So his time, around about 2005, it changed. 2005, 2006, it changed, and it did become, right, this now needs to be aimed at children, because if we can get children hooked, they're
TV
going, Daddy,
changed.
Yeah,
it was.
Daddy, I want to go to that event. Daddy, I want that figure.
It wasn't that the audience had changed. It was the TV. So they found out by doing analysis, because back in the day, it wasn't. No one ever looked at like how many kids were watching it or anything like that. Nowadays, like you're saying, 2000, 2005, 2006, they look at everything now, so they know what age groups are watching. And then when they say there's more kids watching, and on the graph, here's the adults, but here's the kids, and it's like we're targeting it at the wrong people. We see it on YouTube and places like that where you can look at the algorithm, so you can see the people you're targeting, and all they're doing is targeting their group that's selling the most stuff to.
It's why I've had a lot of shit for having this opinion, and that's fine. Give me shit. Tell me I'm wrong. Like, spark up a debate. I love. There's nothing I love more than having a good debate and hearing someone's opinion that has a different opinion to mine, because that's how you learn things. I'm all for that. But a lot of people want Bayley to come back as heel Bayley. I don't see the point. She's proved that she can do it. I think she did that heel character very, very well. WWE, their target audience is children.
When she was the hugger.
Name a woman that has been more over with children than the hugger.
Yeah. No one.
She literally got kids who had no interest in wrestling watching every week and buying her shit.
Yeah.
Colin's daughter, she had no interest in wrestling, and then Colin was watching it, and I think she was about 8, 9 at the time, and she saw Bayley. Oh my God, who's that, Dad?
Yeah.
And for the next few years, she watched every episode of it, and then since that character's gone, she's actually stopped watching it. But that story will be thousands of kids. She was as over with WWE's target audience, which is children, than anyone. Like, they loved her. They loved that character, and it was designed for kids.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that, which is why the Nikki Ash character worked. Kids loved it. So if it's all aimed at if your target audience is children, then that's the way that you're going to move that product, which is why Stone Cold was told by every producer, you can't do that. You've got to do that. You can't do that anymore. We don't do that. And Stone Cold went out there on WrestleMania and was like, fuck you. I don't give a shit. But, hey, fucking respect to him. But you've got to understand why WWE have done the things that they've done, because if you've got children, if your two daughters will turn around to you and Kirsty and say, "Mummy, Daddy, I want that figure, I want that belt, I want that shirt," you're more likely to buy it for your kid that's passionate about it than you. You just are. Most parents are more likely to, right, well, I'll save up and I'll buy that because my kid really wants it. There's loads of stuff I want, but I don't buy it because that's not stuff I want. Isn't my priority.
Kids come first. And
they do come first. And you know what? It's a very successful business model, and it's made billions and billions of dollars, and will continue to make billions. I do kind of. I think the whole look. Do you know? And I know that the American Nightmare theme was all, it's the colours of the American flag, right? But it does look very colourful. But that's going to catch a kid's attention. His entrance music and his Tron and all, and it's blue lights that are being flashed everywhere, bright blue lights that if you're 4 or 5 and you're going to be mesmerized by it. Oh, wow, look at that entrance. You might not understand the wrestling if you're only 4 or 5, but you're going to look at it and go, oh my God, it's amazing what little things like that can do. But
look, what I want to do is wrap it up now.
Yeah.
And say, look, we're going to keep these going now. Regular thing.
Yes, I just want to say my last
once a week.
My last point is, we have said this before, but unfortunately, things have happened. COVID,
family,
things have happened personally where but we have in the background been putting a lot of things into place to move forward, and there's a lot more content. We're going to be doing a podcast every single week, and there's also going to be a lot of different. There's going to be some quite different content as well. It's not all going to be wrestling related.
No.
But there's going to be a lot of stuff coming our way. But anyone, keep tuning in. Anyone that's watching, like and subscribe and comment. Let us know what you thought of the video. And if you do want to follow us in our wrestling group, it's a pretty cool wrestling group. It's got quite a good, fun, family orientated atmosphere.
Following,
good, happy conversations going about, positive conversations. Come and join. Just type in on Facebook, all wrestling community, and come and join us. Well, it'll be a pleasure to have you.
But look, I've been Kev.
I've been Dan. We'll see
and
you.
We're gonna catch you at the next one. So see you later.